Hello, Smriti. Good morning.
Hello. Good morning, sir.
So,
So,
congratulations. Congratulations. The happiness is quite visible on your face, right? All India topper, 5 years,
yes, sir.
no MHCET. Fantastic achievement. Fantastic achievement. Congratulations. So, I hate, feeling like a
Thank you,
reporter
sir.
on this, but it's like a typical journalist question. How do you feel?
It took a while to sink in because I didn't know the result was going to come in. So one of my friends congratulated me, and that's when I went and I checked the result. But I'm very elated, and I'm very happy that the hard work that I did the past 2 years, it has borne some fruit, and it's a nice, tasty fruit. So I'm very glad about that. Yeah.
Okay. One specific thing I wanted to ask during these times of the pandemic and staying at home, lot of restrictions on your freedom, there has been a lot of resentment in students, especially because students, they want to explore, etc., etc. And it really must have been quite tough to keep yourself motivated, especially during the pandemic. So, how did you handle yourself emotionally during this?
So my emotional journey was very similar to everyone else's. I had a very strong period between April to May where I was very motivated to study. Uh, Wait, I'm so sorry, from April to June, and I was studying a lot. And then after June, I think I just got tired of staying in one place. So I went through a phase of, feeling emotionally very down, but I gave myself time. So I think one of the most important things you can do when you're feeling down is to give yourself enough time to understand what you're feeling and understand your emotions and why you're feeling that way. But then I also had a plan in mind. I knew that I had to meet these goals, and that as much as I'm down right now, the future is always going to be waiting. So I made a list of things that I'm grateful for, and things that I'm looking forward for, and that I need to work for them. So I made sure that, whenever I was down, I gave myself enough time to understand why I was down. So it was a roller coaster, but I kept myself motivated by the idea that it will all be worth it after I get the results that I want to. And I did, in a way, get the result that I want to. So I'm glad that it worked out.
Great. Okay. Um, Usually, before students join any training institute, they have certain expectations from that institute, right? You join Career
Yes.
Launcher Pune, for example, you must have joined the Career Launcher Pune with some expectations, right? So, how was the experience at Career Launcher Pune? Nutshell.
Yes. The funny thing about our batch, the one that gave the exams in 2020, was that we got to experience both. We got to experience the live classrooms as well, and then we got to experience the online teaching as well. And I think that in the live classroom, Career Launchers exceeded my expectations, and that I enjoyed all the class discussions we had. And it was never just sit and study, it was active student participation, and it was a very interactive sort of learning. And to manage that online was something that I was very glad that Career Launchers could do, and that we could make the sessions interactive even while we were doing them online. I was very grateful for that, and I did make quite a few friends in career launchers, and they all are in good places in good law schools right now, and we're still connected. And I think the experience is very nice. The teachers were amazing, and I enjoyed all our classes together. So
Great, great, thanks, fantastic. Did you have any? Usually, students have this question that if I want to clear it, first of all, how does it feel from the being at the receiving end of advice to suddenly going to the opposite end where you are now dispensing advice? How does that feel?
it's it's interesting because I don't know if my advice will work for everyone else, because it's very limited. It's very individualistic, how you cope with whatever you're doing and how you prepare for your examinations. But I just hope that now that I'm giving whatever I have experienced, I hope this helps someone. It's interesting too.
So, if you want to give a strategy or a plan to someone who probably is going to take CLAT 21 or CLAT 22, okay, or the CET exam. So, roughly students, the predominant question that students have in their minds is how many hours of preparation per day would I need to put in? And overall, for how many months should I ideally prepare? Okay, because students come 3 months before the exam, students come 2 months, 2 years before the exam. So, do you have any specific strategy which you would like to pass on to the aspirants of the next couple of years? How many hours per day kind of a plan?
I think more than the hours that I put in, the number of hours, it was how I effectively used whatever time I was giving for my studies to maximize the learning input. So there is no use sitting for 6 hours and studying if the knowledge that you're gaining, you could have done that in 3 hours using a different strategy. So my idea would be to, and it also doesn't matter if you start 3 months before the exam. This exam is a very um, uh, interpreting exam, so you can't, it doesn't matter if you've been preparing for it for 2 years. You obviously have the edge because you've done a lot of questions, but you can also crack it in 3 months. It's not that difficult. My way of strategizing was that I selected the topic that I wanted to do for the day. I selected the set of questions that I wanted to do, and I made sure that I finished that. I didn't overwhelm myself with a lot of work. I made sure that I was giving myself time between between the topics that I was reading as well, and whatever I did it diligently. So if I'm supposed to be sitting for 3 hours and 1.5 hours continuously, I made sure that all of my distractions were put away. So whatever people do in 6 hours, if you can finish it in 3 hours, make sure you do that and read a lot. So I think that's two three things keep in mind. You don't have to worry a lot about your the hours that you put in or the time that you've put in. If you are just 3 months before the exam, if you've decided you want to crack it, you can do that. And I think reading the newspaper daily helps a lot.
So you're audible now.
I'm audible now?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Uh, how important is to appear for tests and to analyze them? What importance does that have? Is there any strategy for that? How regularly, frequently should you take tests, etc., etc.? Any strategy on that?
So one thing that always helps, especially in exams like CLAT or MHCT, is to give mock tests, because you might practice 100 questions every day, but if you don't know how to manage your time while giving the exam, it really won't help you much. So I guess 2 examinations a week of 2 different patterns and spending enough time analyzing them. So like you used to tell us that if you gave another mock without analyzing the previous one, you would be wasting 2 mocks, and it's very important to analyze mocks. So if you're giving a mock, make sure that you take out 2 or 3 hours after that mock, maybe the next day, not to overwhelm yourself. Sit down, see where you went wrong, see why you went wrong wherever you went wrong, and consult with any teacher regarding that section. So make sure that you analyze your mocks. And I think 2 mocks a week of 2 different patterns work. And if you do multiple mocks a week, you might overwhelm yourself again. So it's not necessary for you to do a lot of mocks. Just whichever mocks you do, make sure you analyze them and that you gain as much as you can out of those mocks.
Okay. We have interacted before, and you obviously are a very well-read person, right? Because the kind of questions you used to ask, they were pretty different, and most of the times you were more concerned with the why rather than the what. Okay, so Acha, tell me one thing: managing your board exams, right? Managing your law entrance, plus managing your hobbies, right? Isn't it a how do you juggle around with all these things? Because you happen to be quite well read. And at one point of time, I remember asking you, are you really only 18 years old? Because the kind of knowledge that you held was far superior to that of an average 17 to 18-year-old. So how did you create a balance between all these things?
I would like to consider myself very lucky with regards to this pandemic. I know a lot of people have suffered a lot, but we got a lot of time for our law preparation. But what before this pandemic started, I remember meeting with Miraj sir and sitting down and asking him, how do I manage my boards and my studies for this? Because I was getting overwhelmed. I had a lot to cover up, and I was worried that I wouldn't be able to finish my studies for my boards and my coaching, my preparation as well for my entrances. So, one thing, if you are giving an examination in CBSE, which a lot of students do, you don't have to stress about boards as much as, as big as they make it out to be. It isn't that difficult, and if you consistently study, and if you're in 11th right now, or you half of your 12th is already done, my advice is that study every single day. Make sure that you keep in touch with your board studies, but don't leave a lot of things for like the last minute. And the same with CLAT. So make sure you give 1 hour or 2 hours every single day to your CLAT preparation at this point of time as well. Before the exam, I would ideally tell you to sit for 4 hours, 5 hours, 6 hours. There were days where I used to sit for 13 hours in a row, but don't do that. It exerts yourself too much. And with regards to your hobbies, please don't lose out on doing co-curricular or extracurricular. I used to play football a lot. I used to read books. I never stayed sitting down in one place and just studying. Even when it was 4 or 5 days before my MHCT, I remember going down. I remember playing with my friends, and I remember taking some time out for myself and for my hobbies as well, because in the end you need to be a very holistic person. You can't just be academically affluent. You need to also make sure that you have lived these next 6 months properly, and to balance that, I would say, is to form a timetable. I think that works the best for everyone, is to organize yourself. And once you organize yourself, once you figure out that this much time I want to give to my studies, this much time I want to give for my entrance preparation, whichever time is left, make sure you do whatever you want to. Don't sit on your phone for too long. As much as interesting as it is, there are a lot of other things you can do. Read a book, go out for a walk, things like that.
Okay. Let's go a bit back in time. For you, that wouldn't be too much, obviously. What basically motivated you or inspired you to take up law as a career? Because that is one thing I'm always interested in knowing. What is the driving force behind that career?
So, as funny as it sounds, I started off 11th with an aim of doing medical. And because bio was my favorite subject, but what happened was that it wasn't interesting enough. Just biology won't get you into medical. You have to do physics and chemistry as well. And I wasn't interested in physics and chemistry. And I used to read a lot of political science, and I used to attend a lot of MUNs and debates and all of that. And then I started reading a little about law, and I started gaining interest in that field. And I think by mid 11th, I decided that, you know what, medical isn't working out for me. And as much as, it's a great career to have, because you will, especially if you're privileged enough, you'll get into a good college, you're smart enough, you'll get a good job. Law was something that was always a very lucrative option, and it was always interesting. And to be a part of a community that works towards justice is always a good thing. There is a lot of philosophy in law that's interesting, that I did enjoy reading, and it was a very subtle shift. I did not realize when my interests stopped lying in sciences and started moving towards law and political science and philosophy. But when that happened, I sat my parents down. I told them that it isn't working out for me in medical, and they were very supportive, and we looked up all options, and then we chose law.
Excellent. So there has to be a motive, and the choice of a career has to be based on interest, primarily, and everything else is secondary. Good. So,
Yes.
any final advice that you would like to give to the young people who are watching? Young people, as in even you are young, but younger than you. That's what I mean.
Um, one, don't take a lot of stress. Make sure that you enjoy studying. I think the best way to learn is when you enjoy doing what you're doing. And if you sit in front of a book and if you feel as though this is too much for me, I think that there is no point in you studying at that time. Make sure you give yourself time. Take out a few hours in your day and do something that is very normal, very generic, but very important as well. Go out for a walk and make sure you pet animals if you like doing that. Read a book, take some time out, spend it with family, but also study. So be organized about what you want to read, be organized about what you want to study, and don't stop yourself from going out with your friends or enjoying a little. Make sure during these times don't go out with your friends without taking the safety measures, but don't stop yourself from enjoying these 6 months of your life before your entrances as well. Entrances are just one step after which you have 5 years in law school, and then your life begins. So don't let this be your end goal. Let this be a gateway for more opportunities when you which you'll experience as soon as you're done with your entrances. And don't feel as though your life ends if your entrances aren't up to the mark that you want. Make sure that you don't attach as much value to the entrances as you probably are doing right now. Make sure you attach value to it though, so it isn't like jo hoga so hoga. Make sure that you give enough time to your entrances as well. Just don't think of it as something that will make or break your life. You have a lot to look forward to, and entrances are just one way to go about it.
Great. Thank you very much, Smriti. Thank you very much for sharing your
Thank you
nuggets
so
of
much.
wisdom. All the best. A great new
Thank you.
beginning, right? And please take good care of yourself, and all the best for the future. Thank you very much
Thank
for
you,
your
sir.
time.
Thank you, sir. Same to you.
Yeah. Bye.